Roommate kept using my makeup without asking, so I made sure she'd never do it again. I shared an apartment with a girl who had no concept of boundaries. She constantly borrowed my stuff without asking: clothes, shoes, and worst of all, my makeup. I told her countless times to stop, but she always brushed it off like it wasn't a big deal. The last straw came when I found out she had used my expensive foundation for a party and didn't even bother cleaning the bottle. That's when I decided it was time to teach her a lesson. I went out and bought a cheap, old foundation from the dollar store and swapped it with mine, adding a bit of self-tanner to the mix. I left it in plain sight on my vanity and waited. Sure enough, the next weekend, she waltzed out of the bathroom with an orange face. I didn't say a word as she headed off to her party. The next day, she came home furious, complaining that people had been laughing at her all night. I just smiled and said, "Oh no, maybe it wasn't your shade." She didn't touch my stuff again after that. I'm not loved, and definitely not unconditionally. I texted my wife for 4 years today because I've been struggling today. I'm an attorney and she works full-time but remotely. We have a live-in nanny who watches the kids during the day. Our oldest attends daycare 3 times per week. My mom comes to help with the kids twice a week. And right now my mother-in-law is visiting us for an extended period and helping as well. I have diagnosed PTSD from abuse and neglect going 30 years back. Even though I've achieved a lot over the years and been successful by just about any objective standards, I don't feel loved, or cared for, or seen, or heard, or valued, or worth anything. I don't think I ever have felt that way, or have been any of those things. People depend on me for things I can offer them, but that's different. Me, I'm feeling really down. I don't want to add to your plate though, because I know you've got a lot to deal with anyway, so it's okay. Wife, it's been hell here. Me, what's going on at the house? Wife, kids barged in my office multiple times. Your mom's help has seriously me wondering if it's actually helpful after all. I'm beyond stressed out. Wife, your mother left around 1 p.m. Wife, has not napped at all. My mother has been helping with the kids since early morning. Wife, kids barged in the bedroom 5 times this morning under your mother's watch. So I decided to just get up and call my mom and ask her to come downstairs and help. Me, sorry it's been that hectic. That's rough. Wife, I'm fucking pissed how your mother is with the kids. Wife, sorry but I can't help you with you feeling down. As you said, got enough on my plate. Wife, separate note. Landscaping guy came and gave us a quote. Wife, gave us a deal of $8,500, attached photo of itemized invoice. Me, do we want 6 trees? Wife, gravel, sod, pavers, 6 30-gallon trees, 5 behind the pool and 1 on the corner where neighbor has a window, some bushes behind the pool wall, mulch, level the ground for drainage, fix sprinkler system. Wife, we do. Wife, we have a long backyard, less than that will look sparse. Me, all right, that's fine then. Wife, okay, I'll text him saying we are going to do it. Wife, spoke with pool contractor and landscaper. They are starting spray deck tomorrow, but might finish it up on Sunday, so it's better to do the landscaping on Monday. It should take 2 days. 5 days tops. Wife, pool contractor, we'll try to schedule our pool school next week so we can start using the hot tub. Me, great. Wife, can you make sure you are at the house by 7 p.m.? Wife, I have errands to run. Me, yeah. Wife, what's going on with the reimbursement? And I haven't replied. I don't feel like replying about travel expense reimbursements when I'm not even worth a moment of consideration. I just feel an unshakable physical sensation in the pit of my stomach constantly, the same thing you might feel before getting hit by a car. My shoulders, neck, and back are usually tense, and sometimes my fingers feel like they're tingling even though they aren't. It's like I'm watching the carefully crafted persona I made live a life I don't recognize or care about, almost all the time that I'm awake. When I sleep, I'm never rested. I wake up without any reason I can discern. The physical feelings are so persistent I don't always even notice them. It's just what normal feels like. If you threatened my life unless I told you all my wants and needs, I don't think I could tell you a single one. I'm just tired, and sad, and lonely, and I've been that way for 30 years. House was burglarized and my car and title were stolen. Car is retitled under their name. What do I do? So last Christmas I flew back home. I only visit once a year, and discovered my home had been burglarized and my car was missing. I called the cops and he asked for the VIN, so I took him to my filing cabinet and noticed the entire folder for the vehicle was missing. I pulled up the VIN from somewhere else and gave it to him. He ran it and informed me that the vehicle had switched owners that previous July. Initially, he pretty much said I was SOL and had to go to court, but he went to go talk to the new owner and discovered it was like an old man who did not drive. At that point, he got permission from his sergeant to mark it stolen. I also called the DMV to report this, and they looked into it and told me that when it was titled they presented a picture ID, so conflicting evidence there. I did not pre-sign it, so my signature must have been forged, and they were in my file, so it's possible it is similar to mine. To make matters worse, I did not have insurance on the vehicle because I was not driving it for a whole year. I know. I had decided to move on emotionally from this and concentrate on other things in life. Now here's the twist. The car was recently found by my family. I still have both keys, so they must have called a locksmith and gotten a fob made. What are my options? State is WI. Does anybody else want a GF/BF but absolutely hate the dating process and getting to know someone? I want a GF. I feel like I have a lot of love to give to the right person. I enjoy the feeling of being close with someone and being intimate with them the same as anybody else. But I absolutely, positively cannot stand the entire process of dating and getting to know somebody. It's so tedious and boring, and most of the time doesn't even feel genuine. I hate going out to socialize. I hate posting in places like this. I hate browsing through all the dating apps. I hate browsing through all the posts in places like this trying to find someone I think I'll even get along with. I hate finding someone and making a thought-out message about who I am and what I'm looking for only to get no response. I hate all the scammers and bots wasting my time in my inbox because they saw my post. I wish I could just skip all of that nonsense and fast forward to the part where I've met my person and I'm happy with them. That's really all I want out of life, is a significant other and a few good close friends. But it's so hard and tedious to meet someone nowadays that it just feels impossible and like it'll never happen. No, you can't just extend at almost midnight on the day of your checkout. Please tell why my night audit just called me and asked me if I knew anything about a guy in a room who checked out today but just called to say he left all of his stuff in the room. Like, bro, why? I asked her to pull up his name, and I remember speaking to this guest. He came down this morning to ask about a late checkout. I told him that noon is complimentary, but anything after that would cost him money. He asked even for super shiny carbon members? I informed him that yes, unfortunately he would have to pay just like the rest of us plebs. He agreed on the noon checkout, and that was that. I didn't see him again, so I figured that he left at noon like he was supposed to, and since my housekeepers didn't say anything about stuff being in his room, I checked him out officially at around 12:45 like we usually do. But alas, nothing can ever be simple. Apparently he called my audit and asked to extend. She explained that he could definitely not extend, since he was supposed to check out today, but that she could make him a new reservation. He started throwing a fit because his stuff was still in the room, and he said, "Well, I'm on my way, so you can fix it." Like, sir? No? Why the fuck would you think that you can just check out or extend whenever the fuck you want? Why would you ever leave your shit in a room knowing that you're supposed to be checking out at noon? Especially when I told him that we could hold his luggage if needed. My auditor got busy with another customer, but she said she's going to go check the room and see if his stuff is in there, since apparently housekeeping put the room out of order and said not a single word to us. I'm hoping they left all of his stuff in there, otherwise I have no idea where it would be. God, I lose more faith in humanity every day. Moral of the story, when checking out of a hotel you should probably, I don't know, take your shit with you. Also fuck super shiny carbon members. Tofu by eating a home-made family-sized lasagna for every meal over 2 days. I've made a terrible mistake and learned a valuable lesson. Allow me to walk you through the last 3 days of hell. My housemate went on holiday Tuesday morning, leaving me alone for the week. I don't often get time alone, so I planned my time around working a little each day, then playing games for the rest of the day. About 12 p.m. and several joints, I was getting hungry and had an amazing idea. I was gonna make a massive homemade lasagna and eat it over the course of the week. At this point, I had no idea what it would do to my body, and if future me could talk to the me from Tuesday, I would have warned him. Day 1, Tuesday morning. So I get all the stuff and spend an hour or so making a massive 7-layer lasagna with nearly a whole block of cheese. several tins of tomatoes, and a layer of applesauce in the middle to give it a sweet tang. It was enough to feed 10 people easily. It smelled so good. Tuesday lunchtime, portion 1. I fried some chips/fries and garlic bread and sat down to eat. It was amazing. I was so thrilled it turned out great. Tuesday's evening, portion 2. Still just as delicious. Even better maybe after letting it sit for a few hours. Nothing brewing in my body yet. It was the calm before the storm. Tuesday midnight, portion 3. I believe this was my first mistake. I had been smoking a few joints and watching AVGN on YouTube, and all of a sudden I remember that I made a massive lasagna. I tried to resist, but my stoner brain only lasted about 5 minutes before I had more and cooked some midnight garlic bread to go with it. It still tasted good. After eating I noticed I was starting to get acid relax. I took lansoprazole and tried to sleep. Wednesday morning, portion 4. I woke up and my stomach was grumbling, so I went and plated up another helping of lasagna. It tasted okay. Not as delicious as my previous 3 helpings, but I put that down to it being early and I had just woken up. It's at this point my stomach acid kicked up again and I needed a shit really badly. I ran to the toilet and had the reniest shit I'd had in a long time. It was almost painful. Now at this point you would normally go, maybe I should lay off the lasagna for a bit, but it never occurred to me at the time that 4 meals of lasagna could produce such bad bowls. I felt better after so quickly forgot about it. Wednesday lunchtime, portion 5. I know it might seem crazy, but at about 2 p.m. I was hungry. I had work to get on with but didn't have the time to cook anything and nothing to grab quickly except lasagna. So back I went. At this point half the lasagna is gone and half remains. This time the lasagna didn't taste that great, but I ate it because I needed to have something to give me some energy. I realized at the point that my stomach felt weird, like painful and uncomfortable. I made myself some coffee and expected a poo, but nothing came. Just a horrible feeling something wasn't right. Wednesday evening, portion 6, the final portion. After finishing work I looked at the remaining lasagna. I thought, maybe it's because I've had no salad or vegetables with it. That will make it taste better and give me something to sort my stomach out. So I made some salad, more garlic bread, and the final portion. I knew immediately after eating it I had made a terrible mistake. My bowl started aching and making noises. I ran to the toilet and as my arse hit the seat, a volcano of red hot shit erupted from my anus. It was so painful. My arse was on fire. Some of the shit came out so violently that it somehow shot upwards, pebble dashing to toilet lid behind me. I don't even know how that's possible. Maybe shit collided with other bits of shit in motion and exploded. Either way, it was the worst toilet experience of my life. Then came the smell. It was delayed almost. Like I was in so much pain the universe said, let's give him a minute before we hit him with the smell. It was like acid. This putrid gas almost instantly made me feel sick. I wanted to run out of the toilet and seek fresh air, but the shit was still exploding out of me. I had no choice but to hold my nose and breath through my mouth, which was horrible. All I thought was, I'm getting this acidic shit smell in my mouth. After what seemed like 5 minutes of lava bursting out of me, it stopped, but at what cost? My butthole was still on fire. It's like someone was holding a lighter to me anus. The smell was so bad I had to wipe quickly and escape this hell I had created. But my anus hurt so much every wipe was like dragging sandpaper over it. I winced with every wipe and was almost in tears, and it was so messy it took a lot of wiping. I stumbled put of the toilet, like a cowboy who's been on his horse for days. I couldn't sit down. All I could do was lie on my side in bed and try to get to sleep. Thursday morning. I woke up and I could instantly feel my anus burning. Before I'd even registered, I was awake. What's worse is that I needed another shit. I was terrified at this point. After yesterday, I had toilet trauma. I knew there was still a portion of 2 inside me, and it wasn't gonna be good. It went just how you expect. It was another foul-smelling liquid shit that each strain felt like a knife in my anus. I held onto the towel rail and forced as much out as I could each push. I figured if I can get it all done quickly, it wouldn't be so bad. It kinda worked, but I think the damage was done at this point, so I painfully cleaned myself and waddled to my desk and worked standing up for the rest of the day. Thursday lunchtime. The constant pain subsided, but I still had bad gas and every fart was agony. The smell was just as bad though. Something was still rotting inside me. At least I could sit down to work now. I wasn't hungry and decided to fast for the day. I didn't dare put more food in me. Thursday evening. As I typed this, I'm lying in bed. On my side, I can feel the last of the lasagna on its way, and I'm dreading going through this. Even if it's one last time. My anus still burns when I fart, and that is happening often. It's freezing cold, but I need the window open to let the smell of my approaching shit out. There's a lesson to be learned here. Don't under any circumstances eat nothing but lasagna and garlic bread for every meal for 2 days. Nothing good can come from it. Asterisk TLDR, I ate nothing but lasagna for every meal for 2 days, and now my anus is on fire constantly, and I smell like a rotten skunk. Asterisk, edit, clearly my fuck-up was leaving it out for 2 days. I appreciate all the concern. As for the applesauce, it wasn't a thick layer. I just spread some out on a layer of pasta. When it cooks, the moisture in it evaporates and you just left with the sugar really. I like sweet and savory. At least it united a portion of Reddit in food safety rules and a universal disgust for applesauce and lasagna. Thanks for the helpful advice and making me laugh a lot.